I'm Alicia from Alicia's Obedience Dog Training. Thank you for signing up to our beginners course. I'm going to explain to you how the course is going to work and how your first session is going to look via this video. So in this video, we're going to cover the foundations of knowledge that you're going to require when you come to your in-person sessions. We're going to go through some tasks that you're going to train your dogs, but the whole of this course is going to teach you the foundations of knowledge that you require to make sure that you have a dog that ends up being a good citizen. So this video for you is week 1. And week 1 is all about your homework and teaching your dog in an environment that has no distractions and that you should both be able to excel. When you come to the in-person classes, we understand that your dog is going to be distracted, and we're going to let you know at the end of this video what you need to bring with you to make sure that you have success. The first thing that you need to get to grips with is marking and rewarding. Marking is all about letting our dogs know the exact moment they've got something right, the behaviour we want, that we would like them to repeat, that we would like to see time and time again. Rewarding is the process of giving your dog something they would like, something that sits at the top of their list that they would prefer to have over anything else. If they get that, following the behaviour happening, we talk about reinforcement, and reinforcement says that that should be repeated when we want it to happen again and again. What we know about marking and rewarding is the quicker it happens and the smaller the space of time it takes for your dog to bank that knowledge, the better they learn. So you're going to use a word, and we suggest you use the word yes. I defy you to use the word yes and not sound upbeat about it and positive. Yes is short and sweet. It's going to happen at the moment your dog does the thing that you like, and then you're going to have a small reward. When we talk about small, we're saying like 5p size, something soft that your dog can take, eat, digest, be ready and back in the room to learn and go again. The first exercise that you're going to take your dog through is name attentiveness. This is going to give you the prime opportunity to practice your marking and rewarding, but it's also going to make sure that your dog understands that if they hear their name, they should respond to you. We've all used our dog's name in vain, so you're going to be mindful about how often you use your dog's name and what you do about it. If we cannot have a dog that hears their name and wants to respond to you, we're going to really struggle taking them forward. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to use your dog's name once and once only. You are not going to repeat yourself. We want your dog to hear their name and look at you. That's all they have to do. And as soon as they look at you, you're going to say yes, and you're going to feed them a treat. If they don't look at you, you're going to do something else. You can rattle a packet, you can clap your hands, you can blow them a kiss. I don't mind what you do, but you're going to make sure that your dog has to look at you. And again, as soon as they do, you're going to say yes, and you're going to feed them a treat.
Rebel, yes. Rebel, yes. Rebel, yes. Rebel, yes. Loki, yes. Loki, yes. Loki, yes.
You're ready to move on to exercise 2. Exercise 2 is all about loose lead walking. We all want a dog that we can take for a walk and they just hang out with us. We don't want to be pulled along the path, we don't want to be dragged over. You need to teach your dog how to do this. The important thing that you need to know is that dogs are into pressure animals. That means if pressure meets them, they will meet that force. If you understand that, you can then look at the equipment they wear, like their collar or a harness that goes across their chest, and start to understand that if your lead's on the back and that's where the pressure hits them, they're going to lean into it and you're going to get a dog that drags you along. So here's what you need to do. We're going to teach your dogs how to relinquish the pressure. and we're going to use a stop-start method to do that. Before we even get into the realms of attaching your lead, we're going to start to show your dogs where they just need to hang out. You need to pick a side. It doesn't matter which, but eventually you need to think about which hand is your strongest hand. That's the one your lead should go in, and therefore your dog should go on the opposite side. First of all, just hang out in your garden, make sure you've got some treats with you, and try and get your dog to follow you. You're going to say yes every time that they are in position next to you, and feed them a treat right down the seam of your trousers. Don't worry too much about clipping your lead on too soon, because that's going to cause you all sorts of problems. Once your dog knows where to hang out, then you can think about clipping your lead on and thinking about picking it up. Make sure that you've got it settled and it's against your tummy. There should be a nice J between your dog and you, and as long as that stays there, you can mark and reward to your heart's content. If that lead goes tight, you're going to stop. What we're letting your dog know is that if they are pulling, we're not going to move. But the minute they relinquish that pressure, the minute there's some slack in that lead, you're going to say yes. You're still going to deliver your treat back here where they should be. Task 3 is all about teaching behaviours. Now your dog learns in pictures, so part of our job is to make sure that we teach the dog the picture first and then we tell them what it's called. Lots of you will have fell into the mistake of using the words whilst you was trying to teach your dog the behaviour, and then you find yourself either having to have a treat in your hand or repeating yourself numerous times. What we want to do is teach your dog in the way that they learn. So we're going to teach the behaviour first, and then we're going to use a theoretical sticky label to let them know what it's called. We're going to use sit as an example. This is definitely one that you've repeated more times than you should. So first of all, you're going to take a treat, and you're going to get your dog to obtain the position of sit just by using a treat over their nose and above their head. As their bum hits the floor, you're going to say yes. Remember, your marking takes a photo of the behaviour we like for your dog, and it makes it clear for them what they're about to get paid for. You're then going to give them their treat. You're going to repeat this numerous times until your dog's absolutely worked out what it is they're getting the treat for and almost start sitting before you stop. In between times, make sure you move them off, wander them round, stop, obtain the position again. Once they're doing that reliably, you can think about adding your cue. Your cue is just the word that we use to tell them how to produce that picture next time. Sit's really easy, we all call it sit. So you will start by getting the behaviour, then saying sit, before you say yes, before you pay your reward.
Yes. Rebel. Yes. Rebel. Yes. 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 Rebel. Sit. Yes. Rebel. Sit. Yes. Rebel. Sit. Yes. Sit. Yes. Sit. Yes. Sit. Yes. Sit. Yes.
You are now at the point where you can start to link behaviours. It's nice to teach them all individually to make sure they're really clear and your dog understands, but realistically we're going to have to ask your dog to do things one after the other. So let's take them from the top to the bottom. You're going to ask your dog to respond to their name. Then you're going to ask them to walk with you for a bit. Then you're going to stop and ask them to sit. At first, when you link these behaviours, you're going to mark and pay for each of them. Eventually, you should be able to put them together. Now, don't be too quick to withhold that reward because quite rightly, your dog could choose to go self-employed.
Rebel. Sit. Yes. Loki. Yes. Sit. Yes.
For each session that we do, this video and the ones that you do in person, there are some notes. If you would like the notes, then you just need to send an email address and request them. They're not going to be sent automatically. Please make sure that when you come along, you follow any guidelines that may be in place. The other thing that you need to be aware of is that dogs don't generalise very well. That just means they don't take information from one learning environment and transfer it to another learning environment. So if you would like your dog to perform the behaviours you teach them, indoors, outdoors, at the park, up the road, round your nans, you need to teach them whilst they're there. We're really looking forward to seeing you in class. What you need to know now is what you need to bring with you and what it's going to be like. You're going to have separate stations for the first few weeks. Whilst we appreciate you've come to socialise your dog needs to learn to bond with you and listen in a distracting environment. There will be time for them to interact, don't worry. For the first few weeks, we're going to ask you to stay in an area and start working your dogs. You can listen to instruction, they'll tell you where to go and what to do. Each session is going to last 45 minutes. You're going to come along and learn, but actually you're going to go home and do your homework to make sure it's all in place. We've got a list of what you need to bring with you for your first session and for the sessions that follow. It's going to come up at the end of this video.